On the December 26, 1996, JonBenét's mother, Patsy, called 911 at 5:52 a.m. to report her daughter missing from the home on 15th Street they lived in along with JonBenét's father, John, and brother, Burke, who was 9. Patsy, a former pageant queen herself, told authorities she'd found a handwritten ransom note on the stairs demanding $118,000, the exact amount of her husband's bonus, despite an initial search of the house. JonBenét's body was not found until after 1 p.m. by her father, after police asked him to sweep the home again. She had been beaten and strangled. As the crime scene was initially treated as a kidnapping and not a murder, multiple people were traipsing in and out of the house, and the preservation, or destruction, of evidence has been called into question for 28 years. In the days after the murders, JonBenét's family willingly submitted DNA samples to investigators. A CBI report completed on the 15th of January 2007, an unredacted copy of which is found in a new book by former Colorado Sheriff John Wesley Anderson, appears to show genetic markers from an unknown male which may have served to exclude the Ramseys and members of their inner circle. On the 29th of December 1996, the family flew to their former hometown of Atlanta. JonBenét was laid to rest in Marietta, Georgia, on New Year's Eve. Her grave is right beside that of her older half-sister Elizabeth, who died in a car accident in 1992. JonBenét's parents gave their first public interview with CNN on New Year's Day in 1997 from Atlanta. At the time, Boulder police were ensuring the community that there was no killer at large, but Patsy disagreed, saying, "There is a killer on the loose. If I were a resident of Boulder, I would tell my friends to keep your babies close to you. There's someone out there." The mother added, "America is suffering because of lost faith in the American family. We are a Christian, God-fearing family. We love our children. We would do anything for our children." The interview was not well received by Boulder police, who sent 5 detectives to Atlanta. Police were reportedly shocked that the family claimed they were too emotional to be interviewed by investigators, but were able to do the CNN sit down. On the 19th of April 1997, the Boulder District Attorney's Office labeled Patsy and John Ramsey as the main targets of the investigation. "Obviously, the focus on these people," Alex Hunter said at the time. The previous month, a handwriting analysis had ruled John out as the person who wrote the ransom note, but did not rule Patsy out. The parents did not sit down formally with investigators until the 30th of April 1997 and held a press conference to announce their innocence soon after. JonBenét's autopsy was unsealed on the 14th of July 1997. The coroner found a deep ligature around the victim's neck and another around the right wrist. Evidence she was bound and strangled. Blood and abrasions were found in the girl's downstairs area, and that she was struck on the head violently enough to cause bleeding and an 8.5-inch fracture to her skull. The autopsy states, a grand jury was convened in 1998. The same year, a Colorado Springs detective brought out of retirement resigned in protest over the handling of the case. Jurors spent months poring over evidence, including DNA, the 911 call and a teddy bear. Also in 1998, investigators interviewed JonBenét's brother Burke. He was 9 at the time of his sister's murder. The grand jury was dismissed in 1999, with the district attorney's office determining there was not sufficient evidence to bring any charges. The same year, JonBenét's 12-year-old brother Burke was ruled out as a suspect. John and Patsy Ramsey published a New York Times bestseller in 2000 titled The Death of Innocence and gave a sit-down interview to Barbara Walters, steadfastly maintaining that no one from their family had killed JonBenét. Patsy died of cancer in 2006. The same year, a teacher, John Mark Carr, confessed to murdering her daughter but was cleared because his DNA did not match samples found at the scene. In 2008, new advancements in touch DNA cleared the Ramsey family, and Boulder authorities sent a letter of apology, but suspicion and public perception remained. In the ensuing years, the family have continued to push for justice. In 2015, John Ramsey again sat down with Barbara Walters to revisit the case. The following year, his son, Burke, gave a televised interview to Dr. Phil, also proclaiming his innocence. JonBenét's father has repeatedly petitioned Colorado authorities to order new and more detailed DNA tests in an effort to find his daughter's killer. He has spoke at CrimeCon, an annual weekend event for true crime enthusiasts, authors, and investigators. In November 2022, Boulder Police and District Attorney issued a release about the ongoing homicide investigation, announcing it would be consulting with the Colorado Cold Case Review Team in 2023. Since JonBenét's murder, detectives have investigated leads stemming from more than 21,000 tips, letters, and emails, authorities said in a release. "We have traveled to 19 states to interview or speak with more than 1,000 individuals. The release added that Boulder agencies were also working with the FBI, CBI, Colorado's Department of Public Safety, and several private laboratories across the country. The amount of DNA evidence available for analysis is extremely small and complex. The sample could, in whole or in part, be consumed by DNA testing, the release continued. In collaboration with the CBI and the FBI, there have been several discussions with private DNA labs about the viability of continued testing of DNA recovered from the crime scene and genetic genealogy analysis. Whenever there is a proven technology that can reliably test forensic samples consistent with the samples available in this case, additional analysis will be conducted. Boulder PD told a source that the active investigation continues to receive assistance from federal, state, and local partners. What are your thoughts on this case? Who do you think did it?